Sports Buffet is back. Number 7? Number 7, right?
I think so, yeah.
And I forgot to mention this right before we got on air, but I think we had a question. If I remember correctly, if I can pull it up in time.
Well, we had a comment.
What was the comment?
It was very derogatory.
Wait, seriously?
It involved you. It didn't involve me.
Oh, for real? Let me. Oh, I didn't see that. Now I'm nervous.
It was wild, man.
Something
that like.
Oh! With the meat?
Yeah.
Because I made a joke about that on Kyle and Corin. So.
Oh, okay.
No, Sofa King, that won't happen here on this. But I have.
I don't know if I want to do this anymore. What's going on?
Yeah, no. There's reference to that, but we'll keep that on Kyle and Corin. But I have a new hat, Angels, and this is how we could start the show, and then we'll get into some of these questions here. But Mike Trout, New Jersey cat, he's out for the year. Do you know what his injury was?
I think it's foot. Like,
is it his foot?
Surgery on his foot, something like that. Weird injury.
Yeah, so he's out for the year. I don't know how the Angels were doing. Are they in like the playoff hunt?
No, I mean he was having a crazy year though. Like career leading in home runs.
Really?
He had 45 like career highs and shit. So
what is it? There's about like a month left to the baseball season.
Yeah.
So
15 games, honestly. 15,
yeah.
I think.
So I mean, is that even enough to really? Well, so that sucks for him, because I mean, like you said, he was having an amazing season, and then on the other side, Yelich got injured, and he had the broken kneecap, which I don't know if we mentioned that last week or not. I think we did. But that hurts the Brewers' chances, and it hurts his MVP chances. So those are like two top guys, AL and NL. I think those are the two who won last year, right?
Yeah, so those, I mean, Yelich, I think he really was going to win it this year.
Yeah.
I still think he might have a chance because it's like, the way I look at it, the other dude that was going against Yelich for the MVP was Bellinger, and they're not playing meaningful games right now. Like, they're clinched, you know what I mean? So it's like...
Yeah, but... So that happened last year, I think, with... Didn't that happen with, I think it was Rookie of the Year with Ohtani, and like there was a whole bunch of Yankees that like, there was like 4 Yankees that could have won like AL MVP, AL Rookie of the Year. And Ohtani got injured, I think like a while, there was still a lot of games left to be played. Like it was like multiple months, and they still gave it to him. And I know we had this conversation that it was like, I think MLB and all these sports do this to like keep that international market alive and like, you know, keep buzz around like the whole like, you know, selling jerseys and selling extra Ohtani stuff, because that whole like Japanese market is ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, and it's not like, so they don't really have that issue this year with this. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because like, I don't think it should matter with Trout, especially like who are they gonna, I mean, no one was really close to him in the AL, like with 45 home runs and stuff and the RBIs and everything.
Yeah.
The only person I could think of is LeMahieu from the Yankees, but that would be, I don't know.
Who the hell's that? I haven't even heard of that dude, and I'm a Yankees fan.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
I don't know if they want to, like, I don't know how writers think of things like that, but I don't know if, like, he's going to get a ton of votes, but he's fucking killing it this year.
What position does he play?
Second base, third base, pretty much all over the infield. He was on the Rockies last couple of years.
Oh, okay.
He hit 300 for the Rockies every single year that he was with them, but it's like, yo, it's Denver, it's Colorado. Like,
yeah.
Of course he did, but he came here and he's crushing.
Yeah, I think, here's my prediction now. I think they'll give it to the guy on the Dodgers over Yelich, just because they can sort of use that as a crutch, like, oh, you didn't play the end of the season, and no one will really fight it that much. And like I said, I think earlier in some of the sports with phases was that he's got the big market in Los Angeles, good-looking dude, you know, also had an awesome season and, like, played the whole season. So, like, there's an argument there that, like, they can use that Yelich was out for a while. Whereas Trout, I mean, they're going to use the other side of it where it's just like, oh, there's only 15 games left. He already had a B season, and they'll give it to him again just because, like, he's the super-duper star for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and I think the way the way I look at it too is I see both sides to it, but Yelich and Bellinger have had such close numbers where Bellinger's surpassed those RBI totals, the home run totals just a little bit, and he's better defensively. So his numbers will outshine Yelich's a little bit. Whereas like Trout, no one is gonna outshine his numbers to take over MVP. Like LeMahieu is not even close to 45 home runs. So it's like,
it's crazy to think though that like all these athletes, like baseball's a long, like 100. That's a long ass season, you know, and to like have to stay healthy for all those games. Granted, they're not really. I mean, like Trout's a center fielder, so he's sort of running around a little bit more. But like to stay healthy for all those games, and like the guys who do it, and like you know, you don't really hear of any big injuries, and like their whole career maintain like not having any big injuries is impressive, because I don't know how like these injuries don't happen more often. You know, just like 100-mile-per-hour ball coming at you and like getting hit, and these guys just eat that stuff.
Just like the everyday wear and tear too. Like it doesn't seem like much, but it's like, I mean, shit, I would play a Sunday doubleheader and be like, I'm good. I don't really need to play for like another 3-4 days. Like I'm all right. So like the Braves have 3 guys in their starting lineup that haven't missed a game. I don't think.
Really?
That's insane. Like so crazy.
I'm pretty controversial with this one. But Cal Ripken's whole streak, like this whole stretch where he went like 3,000, whatever, I think he was doing some performance-enhancing drugs or something like that, man. I think that's impossible to play that many games in a row. And he was type old, too, you know?
Yeah, I mean...
And he was playing third base. Like, it's not like he was like a DH and like just had to like having it bad every game or something. Like, dude was like... This was at the end of his career. He must have been like 40-something years old, playing third base. Oh, I'm an idiot. He did this for mad seasons in a row, but like he still was old, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean like in playing like almost 3,000 games just at the age of 40 would be impossible. So thank God he didn't do that.
No, but it had to have started.
Childhood now.
How many seasons is that? That like that's 162. What was it? 162 games a year?
Yeah, it was almost like nearly his career.
Yeah,
like, jeez, like if you just do the math, you know, like.
I don't knock him for it, but like I'm sure it started out genuine, like just as like Barry Bonds. Like I don't think he takes enough heat for that stretch.
It was the last year was probably pretty selfish. Like, dude, he would be so bad. Like,
you're breaking up a little.
So that doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, guys get games because 2,632 games.
Jesus.
What's crazy is like he passed Lou Gehrig with like 21-30.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, after 21-31, I'd be like, all right, give me a day off.
Wait, so how many over did he go?
Like 500 more.
That's
That's like 3.5 more seasons.
That's a little excessive. Like I watch Ryan and Kelly do these like Guinness World Records every morning on freaking ABC, and it's like the record's like 80, like dropping eggs into a plastic cup or something like that. And since they have the means to do it, they'll bring out like 600 cups and just shatter the record. I'm like, you couldn't have just brought out 81 cups and dropped like an egg into 81 cups and been fine. Like you don't have to shit on Lou Gehrig that much. And granted, Lou Gehrig was probably doing that shit, like he probably played 4 games in a day. So like he was doing that shit like with no HGH, with no trainers, doctors rubbing his nuts after the game. Like that dude was straight grinding.
Just like with cigarettes and whiskey.
For real.
In the dugout probably.
Like when people talk about Babe Ruth's home run record, it's so different than like a guy like when Sammy Sosa and McGuire were doing all that stuff, because one, they had like all this like crazy medicine that were like helping them, but like it's true that like Babe Ruth was like probably just straight eating like a hot dog, and then just got up to bat and was like out of breath running around the bases, and then like have to come back and like hit another home run.
Yeah, well, you know what I think of when I think of like baseball back then is he hits the ball and it's either like a 225-foot fence,
Yeah.
or there's no fence, but it's a downward hill and he just rolls after 200 feet. So it's like he's just got to hit it over the outfielder's head and
Yeah.
it rolls downhill, and he's like, up, another home run.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, if Babe Ruth were to play today, that dude, like, he wouldn't even be able to get around on any of these pitches. Like, he would look like such a fat slob out there, and it would be embarrassing. Like, if they brought back a replica Babe Ruth, like, they found out his exact measurements, like his height, his weight, like everything, how fast he was, and they found some guy just like in the Bronx that looked like him. Didn't have to look like him, but just had all those characteristics.
Like a hologram, yeah. Like,
yeah.
They had to be completely like made up, but it's like, it's like we gotta replicate him.
And they just put him out there. It would look like embarrassing. It'd make you rethink every stat they put up on ESPN. Like, Babe Ruth hit 67 home runs, and you just be like, yeah, but I just saw him standing next to, Mike Trout, and he looked like a fat schlub who just left like a buffet.
Dude, that's like, I say that all the time too, because like these dudes in the 50s and the 60s, it's like, no, man. Or even, I think, what was he, like 1920, 1930? Yeah, something like that.
But they do these documentaries also on ESPN of like all these basketball players, and they'll bring back these like old ass Celtics who played on like the 60s teams, and it's just like some like old ass white dude sitting in a chair like, oh yeah, when we played. And I was like, you would get dunked on like nuts in your face so hard right now if you were playing in your short shorts. Like, I don't want to hear any of your bullshit about what you did back in your day.
Yo, they wouldn't make the team. It'd be me and you. It'd be me and you. You know what I mean? Like, it would just be like, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, we would have been pros. Yeah. Like,
I'm not trying to knock like Pistol Pete. He probably was amazing, and like he could do phenomenal things for his time with dribbling and all this shit. But I just saw on Twitter, I think it was like Jamal Crawford liked the video, and he had the ball behind his back, and he would just throw it mad high up in the air, and then he would like slap his knees twice, and he'd go 2, and then he'd catch the ball, and he just threw the ball up again, and would slap his knees 3 times and caught it. And I was like, all right, it's impressive to like throw the ball behind your back and catch it. But that didn't seem that hard, like slapping your knees 5 times and then catching the ball. Like, it's all a matter of how high you throw the ball.
Yeah, like you watch someone like him and it's impressive, but it's like he also probably has the defenders there and they're just like, he fakes throws it and they're just like looking in the sky for it. And it's like the defenders that he was playing against are just like idiots. Yeah,
it's cool for his error, but like that's why you can't compare. Like, they're like, when people have these conversations of who's the greatest, it's just like it shouldn't even be that can't be a conversation. Like, it's just like, who's the greatest? We can't say. Like, there is no, like, Jordan and LeBron, you could start to compare them a little bit, but even then it's still just they're two different players, they're two different like body types. And like, now once you start talking about like, oh, is Shaq better than Bill Russell? Like, fuck yeah, he's better than Bill Russell. He would just body him and then just bang it on him. Like, I don't care about the championships. Like, he's better than him because he played in an era where his body developed way more than Bill Russell,
Yeah, no, I agree with that. There was the Yankees reliever, Adam Ottavino, was asked, I don't know why he was asked this, but it was something about Babe Ruth. He's like, I strike him out 10 out of 10 times, and people were like up in flames about him. Like, it's true.
It's a fact. Like, I respect that. I didn't hear that, but that's gangster. Like a triple A pitcher right now would strike Babe Ruth out, like you said, 10 out of 10 times.
All day.
Like,
yeah.
No questions asked. Like, Babe Ruth would look like a straight goon up there. Like, it would be terrible. But back to my original point, I think Ripken doesn't take enough heat because, like, you can't play that many games in a row without, like, something going wrong one day,
And without bringing down the team a little bit. So I agree with that a little bit. I mean, I was a big Cal Ripken fan as a kid. Worked his camp.
Oh, really?
Wasn't so much a fan.
Why was he? Do you have any stories of Cal Ripken?
Yeah, so it was like I worked this camp in Baltimore. Like,
were you just that big of a fan that you were like, I want to go like work? I don't even, like. How would you even know that Cal Ripken has a camp?
well, it's like this big thing. He has this whole complex.
Oh, I think yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
like Aberdeen is actually the name of it or something like that. Yeah.
It's Aberdeen, Maryland. Yeah. So, he has this whole complex with like, it's like a really big deal in youth baseball. They have a ton of tournaments and camps there and stuff. So, and it does, it did at the time like look good on a resume. So I was like almost out of college. So I was like, yo, I'll do this for a summer.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there were rules, and they were like, they weren't unwritten rules. It was like, my boss was like, don't go up to Cal and ask for an autograph. Yeah. It was like, don't go and talk to Cal.
That automatically makes you want to do it. One.
Yeah, no, and I know how you are too. Like,
Oh.
you would be scheming for sure.
Oh,
but,
100%.
I ended up doing something like that because I was supposed to stay 8 weeks. I was after 3 or 4 weeks, I was like, I'm going home, man. Like, this is it's cool, but it's like I have my fill of summer baseball camp,
And if anybody's ever been to Aberdeen, Maryland, I've driven past it off the highway, I think, and it's just like there's nothing to do.
Yeah, except for that.
Yeah.
And then so it was like my last day, so I had my campers, two campers that like were my favorites or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave them a brand new ball, and I was like, yo, you can go up to Cal and get it signed. So they did, and I was like, don't bring that shit back to me right away though, dude. Like, don't run back to me right away with it. Like, and they were good. Like, I picked the best ones, and they were mad sneaky about it.
So you still have the ball?
Yeah, I do.
That's pretty cool then.
I do, but he wasn't. Yeah, he's not a personable guy. He's real quiet. He's intimidating, big as fuck. Like, he's a big dude. So to play shortstop at that size, it is impressive. But like, yeah, all the other major leaguers that showed up there were mad cool, and Cal just put off that vibe. Like, don't talk to me,
damn, man, that sucks to hear that. But yeah, so that makes me think a little bit even more that he was doing some shit. Just because, that you got to have part asshole in you to think, like, all right, let me take some shit to, like, help myself even more than I'm already, like, done,
He's so big, like, it's impressive. Like, yeah, I could look up his stats, look up his baseball card, see that it says 6'3", 210.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, standing near him, it's like, damn, dude. Like, he's, broad shoulders, big chest, like, has your body not break down at least once?
You think of so many, like you say, like you had those kids run up and get the autographs for him. And I think I mentioned this before, that I went to a Giants training camp, and this like shady guy had like this young kid running up to players to like get autographs signed for them, and they would run it back to him. And like Strahan like caught on to that and saw the kid running back to the guy to give him all the autographs, because like an athlete, at a training camp or like, at a baseball camp, they're usually going to spend more time signing autographs for people, because they're not like locked in the game or whatever. But yeah, I can't even imagine how many people there are just like not shady. I mean, you're a camp counselor. They tell you can't get an autograph, so you found your way around the system a little bit and had a kid do it. But like, think of just sketchy adults out there that are like, I don't know, who knows how they're recruiting these kids to like get them to go up to athletes and get like a ball for them signed that they'll put on eBay and sell for whatever amount of money. It's scary to think about.
I feel like it was like a big deal. Like, it happened a lot when we were younger. I don't know if it happens anymore. I could be just blind to it. But
Mm-hmm.
like,
what, you think people getting kids to do it, or people asking for autographs in general?
Just like adults seeking autographs, like the selfie is the new autograph now, so
yeah.
Like and like you got to be in that in order to like actually appreciate it. So it's like a little more authentic, I think.
Yeah.
But like back then, it was the autograph that was the thing. You didn't ask for a picture with someone.
No.
So, but it is weird when it's like yeah, I'm an adult, but I grew up with this guy as my idol, like had Cal Ripken gloves and batting gloves and stuff, and it's like definitely don't speak to him.
Yeah.
And like, every time he was around, it was like, all right, cool. Like, and like, yeah, maybe he'll stop by and thank us at the end of the year. It's like, what the fuck is that?
No, yo, but it makes me think also, to your point, like, I guess we're not really, I don't know, like, I haven't been in the trenches too much, like down at a third baseline pregame or something like that to see like what sketch balls are out, like trying to get autographs or like at a training camp. But I went to an Astros game and I got there super early for the bobblehead, and I'm 30 years old at the time, maybe I was 29 still, but like I went down to like the tarp pregame and there's like all little kids around me, and like it's still an adrenaline rush. Like, I'm still a baseball fan and still get like sort of geeked out about seeing like a pro baseball player. But then there was one moment where I just like looked to my left and to my right, and it was all like little like 10, 11-year-olds with their gloves out and their jerseys on, and here's me standing in the middle of them, like, you know, looking at a baseball player, maybe trying to get on like the TV or something like that. And I was like, sort of feel a little sketchy right now. Like, maybe I should get the fuck out of here.
You did the Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Out of the bushes.
Slowly back out of it.
It's like, yeah, no. There's like, there's muddy waters with that.
It is.
You gotta really know how to do it and get in and get out and not look like a creep. So I'm out.
Like, no, but if you catch a foul ball, which, have you ever caught a foul ball or a home run ball or anything?
Yeah.
You have?
Yep.
And were there any kids around you? Like, did you have to feel like you have to give that away? Because if I'm catching one of those and, like, there's a little kid around me and the crowd's like, no, I'm keeping that, man. Like, that's mine.
Yeah. So, dude, this is my time to shine and tell this story. Like, this is probably, like, the last good deed I did. It was, like, 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I grew up going to batting practice, and that's how you get foul balls.
Of course.
So it's like, you're going 2 hours early. Like, that was instilled in me. Like, my dad was like, you're going to batting practice. It's like, all right, yeah, no, that's awesome. I get a ball a game, every game.
Yep.
But it would be batting practice for the most part. I would catch a foul ball here and there, or, you know, like in the stands for a homer. But, so, it's obviously like I get a Major League Baseball. If I got one now, I'd be like, all right, cool. So, I got one. I was on the phone in left field. And it was Mets Marlins for BP, and I was there early.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 6 or 7 years ago, probably, at least. And I'm on the phone in left field. Stanton comes up for the Marlins for BP, and he's hitting shots, man, like fucking lasers,
yeah.
Right? And
this is at Shea or City?
City.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, yo, I'm like, I don't even want him to hit it to me, you know? Like, I've been to batting practice with Bryce Harper. I'm like, if he hits it to me, I might be fucked. Like, that's gonna break my hand. You know,
because it's so powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm an adult, and it's either get out of the way or try to catch it. Like, that's gonna hurt. So he was hitting shots, right? And I was on the phone. My buddy called me, and Stanton hits one over my head, and I knew that it was gonna hit the scoreboard right above me, or the signs right above me. And so it hit it, and I was leaning on the left field rail with the phone in my hand, and caught the ball.
What?
I swear to God, like that, caught the ball. And just like that, leaning over the rail.
Oh, that must have looked so gangster.
Yo, it looked awesome, but it was like, it wasn't the game, so it wasn't many people there. Like, no one was cheering, you know? But it was the smoothest thing I ever did, and I gave it to this little kid. He was like 8 or 9 years old, had a glove, was mad and annoying, and was like dying to get a baseball, and he was standing near me. So I was like talking to my friends, like, yo, I just caught a ball, I'll call you back or whatever. He's like, are you serious? He's like, just now? I was like, yeah, no, I literally just caught it with one hand right now. I'll hit you up later.
What?
So I caught it, hung up the phone, I was like, yo, here you go, man. The fucking kid barely said thank you.
Oh my gosh.
And he continued to beg players for a ball. I'm like, yo, you got one, you little asshole.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, yo, I literally thought I would make this kid's day, and he was just like, all right, cool, I'm still going to be here and annoy you.
Oh.
Go sit down, man.
And that kid probably ended up with like 18 more balls or something like that.
Yeah, that kid is probably like, I don't know where he's
That kid is that guru now who catches all the balls.
Yo, I got a selfie with him.
That guy, I saw him at the home run derby in Miami one year, walking around like, Oh, he looks like a cornball. That guy needs to get some buns or something like that.
He's a
and
weird
then,
dude. So I always I was with my friend 3 or 4 years ago at a Mets game. I was like, "Yo, that's foul ball guy," and he was like, "Who gives a fuck?" And I was just fucking with him, and I was like, "Yo, I'm getting a selfie with him." Man. And so I was like, foul ball guy. Can I get a selfie? And he goes, "Yeah, hurry up though, because I'm on the run."
I respect that though.
I respected it. I said, "No doubt, man. I know this is prime time for you because it was BB." I was like, "Yo, I know it's prime time for you," but he pretty much big league me. He was like, "Yeah, keep it moving, man."
I mean, yo, mad respect to that guy because he. I think he turned that into a business now because I saw a special on him where people pay him now and he guarantees them a ball and if he doesn't get a ball for them or something like that, he gives them the money back.
Yeah, no, he is legit. It's a system. Because I ended up once I saw him, I just was watching him the whole time.
Yeah. He's one of those guys.
Man. Yeah, it's crazy the system he has. He knows. Yo, he has spray charts for where guys hit it.
It's insane. It's insane. They did a special. I think ESPN did a special on him, and the way he broke it down was just this guy's gonna hit it to right field this time, and this whatever.
Yep.
And I still remember when the Yankees were playing some of the Astros or something. He was behind Aaron Judge in a yellow shirt and robbed the home run ball. He was right there. The fact that it's hard to comprehend that how he figures out these statistics, but it might be easier than we think. If you study a certain baseball player and know he always hits it to left field, but the fact that he knows to be in the middle of the stands or the top of the stands or right at the wall for a certain guy is fucking crazy.
Well, he's got some serious record set in baseballs. He's caught he caught A-Rod's 3,000th hit because he knew where he's I know he hits this against this guy. And that's in game too, which is crazy hard. You know. But just to show you the kind of guy this is. Anyone, if they don't know what we're talking about, just Google foul ball guy.
Yeah.
YouTube foul ball guy. I watched his apartment.
Yeah, I think I saw that too.
Oh, yo, he's a Looney Tune. He's got storage for all of his baseballs.
Yeah.
Because he can't fit them.
Yeah. It reminds me of. I actually have a picture with Marlins man.
Oh, that guy. How was he?
He was a little. Well, so I got a funny story with him. So I was at a Marlins game. No, I was at the Home Run Derby when the All-Star game was in Miami, and I actually saw him with his daughter beefing with each other, and she was so upset because he wasn't around for the day or something like that, and he was more worried about getting to his seat for the Home Run Derby and just straight walked away from her. I think it all happened in outfield, in the concourse, and I was like, damn. All right, there's Marlon man just really about his shit also, which I sort of respect, just straight bouncing from his daughter to go watch the Home Run Derby.
Wait, hold on. Are you sure it was his daughter or he? I don't think he's married or anything. He just brings smoke shows to the games. So if she was a pretty girl that was in her 20s, it might have been his date for the game.
I heard that he. So again, if anyone doesn't know who we're talking about, look up Marlins man. He goes to all the top sporting baseball events. And he's actually at some basketball games too, I think.
Sports games in general, yeah, but baseball specifically.
Yeah.
And I think he might be. I don't know if he's based out of New York, but he goes to a lot of New York games.
Yes, and he's
probably every ESPN Sunday night game. You could see him in the behind home plate wearing that orange Marlins jersey.
Yes. So hold on. I'm pretty sure. Oh wow. So he's unmarried and doesn't have any children. So yeah, maybe it was a chick that he was with or something. That's interesting.
That was his girl then. Yeah, that's what he does, dude. You could just search up Marlins man and the women that he buy. He doesn't buy just one seat. He'll buy a few. Yeah,
but I heard that he invites just randoms to the game. If you've got a good story or something, he'll invite you. I didn't know it was Smokes.
Yeah, usually it's Smokes that probably DM him or something and want to be on TV and just
wow.
do shit.
Wow, what a pervy move, man.
Oh yeah, he's out there too, man. But he's like, yo, he's loaded. He's a lawyer.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he's just like he's like a Jewish lawyer from Miami, but yeah, he. So here's why I thought he just finds random people, because he was standing. It was at Wrigley Field. I think it was Yankees Marlins, Yankees Cubs, and it was the game that went like 20 innings or something like that. It was a crazy long game. But before the game, me and Molly are going to the game, and I see the bright yellow Marlins thing, and he's standing outside of the stadium. So I was like, "Oh, can I get a picture?" He was like, "Yeah, okay." And then he like asked me and Molly, because we're like interracial couple or something like that. So I'm thinking like, oh, like we've sort of got an interesting story. And I always had in the back of my mind that like he just finds people with interesting stories from like the local town to go to the game with him, whatever. So I'm like, yo, he's gonna ask me and Molly to like sit with him behind home plate or whatever. So I was like, oh, can I get a picture? He was like, yeah. He was like, where are you guys from? We're like, oh, from New York, but we live in Chicago now. He was like, okay. And then like kept it moving. I was like, damn, yo, he's asking where we're from. Like, we're about to get the tickets. And then like just kept it moving afterwards. But like he tried to be like, the way he spoke was almost like he was like trying to be like a hot shot, you know? And I was like, relax, dude. Like, you're Marlins, man. Like, you're not A-Rod or something like that. Like, but I thought that's what his move was like trying to find a couple people to sit with him at Wrigley.
No, so like from my understanding of it too is like he does think he's the shit a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like he literally was pretty much like almost like a meme. He was just like a joke. It was just like, yo, this dude in this ugly ass Marlins jersey wears the same thing everywhere he goes.
Yep.
And goes to the most random sports games and like sits in the best seats.
You know it's sort of it's sort of sad, and it reminds me of, and you definitely know him because you're a Lakers fan, but it's just like this old ass dude that goes to Lakers games who's like always in like the flashiest outfits, and he always wears like a hat. You know what I'm talking about?
Jack Nicholson?
No. There's like this little guy. He's like always in like diamond bezeled outfits, and like he's always.
Yeah. So it's not just Lakers games though now. And he gets pictures with NBA players.
Yes.
I'll find him on the gram and send him to you.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yo, he looks like he would be like Mick Jagger or something.
Yes. But here's my thing is like, it's sort of like sad. Like, I don't care if that dude is like the most ballin' whatever. Like LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, like all these dudes, they don't fuck with you. Like they don't want to be friends with you. Like they just want something from you, and they want like whatever you are, a producer. Like the guy just looks so awkward and old. He doesn't look like fun, and he just wears the craziest. He wears the craziest outfits, and it's almost just like, you got to wear an outfit that's more your age, dude. Like, you're wearing like a 16-year-old like outfit.
Yeah, yo, he wears like high fashion shit and always has those hats on. Always, like, sequin feathered out, whatever. But like,
oh, so look,
up on my gram before.
I literally just typed in old guy at Lakers game. His name is James Goldstein. James F. Goldstein. He's an American millionaire NBA superfan who attends over 100 NBA games each season, typically is in courtside, including approximately 95% of home games for the Los Angeles Lakers and Clippers.
Yeah, this is the dude.
He's from Wisconsin. But, like, look at this.
Yo, he looks crazy, man.
Like, maybe, okay.
Let's see, can you see that?
Yeah. Okay, but, like, look.
Insane.
Maybe she really likes him. You would hope, right? For the sake of love. But, like, everybody, like, and I don't want to, like, crap on the guy, man, because maybe he's a great guy, but, like, she doesn't even look happy in the picture.
She's looking at the next dude, like, whoever she could just, like, all right.
She's looking at the cameraman.
Really worth it?
Yeah, maybe. She's looking at the camera guy, like, really? Like, really, you're going to take a picture right now?
Yo, that, you know what's crazy too? It's like, what happens at the end of this? It's like, it is sad in a way, because it's like that game ends where she's going home. She's like giving you a hug where she doesn't even fully embrace
No.
She just wraps her arms around.
He's smashing.
Out.
He's definitely smashing.
No.
What, are you crazy?
There's something wrong with society if that's the case.
That was the whole Anna Nicole Smith thing. I mean, like, it's and that's why it's like, this is a bigger conversation, but almost like why prostitution should be legal. Like, it's just because like she, I mean, I don't know, maybe she really likes him, but like it's hard to find that dynamic, because it's like, what do they relate on? They're not talking about the new like Future album that came out or something like that, you know? Like, it's like, where's the meeting point? Like, people get in relationships with each other because there's a common ground, you know? It's like, oh, you like this, I like this, let's talk about this, and that's how you meet. But like, I don't know, well, fashion, maybe she likes him, but I don't know. My point is,
he's got swag.
Does he?
That's some serious drip.
He does have some clean drip. Okay, I digress on those two guys, but like, they're super fit. I mean, good for that guy, but good for that guy. But talking about the autographs made me think of, did you see the Giants fan that ran up to the Cowboys guy and he straight deaded him? What were your thoughts on that? Because, I mean, like, some people are on the side of like, yeah, he should be wearing a Cowboys jersey, and other guys are like, he's a kid.
I think, like, in the beginning of the video, you could tell, I'm forgetting the dude's name, the NFL player's name.
Yeah, like, I just saw it.
But like, you could tell right away, if the kid had a Cowboys jersey on, he didn't want to stop either. Like, yeah. He didn't want to stop, which is all good. Like, I think he knew he made the mistake of giving eye contact. And then he really didn't want to stop, so he just threw that out there last minute about the Giants jersey. And it's like, yo, what is that kid doing, honestly? Like, why do you have a Giants jersey and you're running up to him yelling like you want his autograph that bad? That was weird to me. I don't care how old you are. Yeah, and it looked like he was holding a Cowboys towel, but the guy didn't even notice any of that. To your point, he wasn't signing anything. It was like the way he was walking, and like even after the fact when he got into like that big van with like the lights on it, he really looked like straight out of like a Ballers or like Jerry Maguire or like some Hollywood movie type, where it's like, here he comes, here's Jack Bronson, you know, like the superstar athlete, and it's just like he's just straight Hollywoods his way into like his van, and like it did look like that.
It was insane. Like, he's just like this big figure with like, but like he's got a guy to his left and a guy to his right. The kid, it just looked straight out of a movie. It looked like a commercial. It did. It looked like Ballers or some shit. Yeah. It's like, what is that kid doing? And like, if you're that kid's parents, like, no, that's the opposing team. Like, I'm not saying to like boo him or anything. It's like, yeah, teach him. Yeah. Teach him at some point. Like, you can't just be running up on a Cowboys player with a Saquon Barkley jersey. Yeah, no, 100%. And that's got to happen so many times where like people get rejected as an autograph because like the player is passionate about their team. And you saw it. There was actually a player. Oh, it was Fournette on the Jags. It was preseason, and there was like an Eagles fan yelling from like the stands or whatever, like, "Oh, let me get your jersey. Let me get your jersey. Let me get your jersey." So Fournette was like, "I'll give you my jersey, but you got to like become a Jags fan or something like that." And the guy was like, "Bet, done. I'm a Jags fan." He was like, "I'm gonna follow you or something like that, and I'm gonna make sure that you are a Jags fan." And he gave the guy his jersey, and like turned the Eagles fan into a Jaguars fan. Like, you know, like he actually like converted a fan. Yeah, stuff like that is cool. Yeah, that's cool. But like, to your point, and there's more to that story probably. Like, that kid, I don't know how he had that access. Like, there usually when I used to wait for autographs, there'd be like security gates and there'd be bars or there's security guard. If that kid could run up to every single player like that, that kid probably got the whole team's autograph. You know, like that's what I'm saying. There must have been some VIP section where like regular kids aren't allowed to go to, and that kid got his jersey and his towel signed by so many other players that one player was sort of a G to be like, "Nah, man, don't come to a Cowboys game, get VIP access, and your dad's a CEO in a Saquon jersey asking for my shit." Like, no, I'm not signing that. Yo, that's a good point, too. That's why it looked like it was, like, from fucking Entourage. Like, there was no gates or anything. Nothing. And then no one else ran up to that. No. Like, no. It's almost like and it sucks because sometimes there is more to the story, and I don't think this is the case with that guy. I think that guy is probably, like, a douche and, like, is just, like, an arrogant prick. but maybe he was signing every single autograph right before that kid, and like, you know, that was like all the Cowboys family were ahead of him, and like the Giants family were behind him or something, and he just finished signing 500 autographs, and that kid runs up to him, and then he walks past him. You don't know that part of the story.
I always give guys the benefit of the doubt with shit like that too, because it's like, man, he probably just got done like doing a signing. Like, he's good. He doesn't need to do this. Yeah.
No, but no. It does raise a couple eyebrows, because I remember I used to wait after Yankee games when they would like walk to their parking lot. There'd be big ass barricades, a line of people. You'd have to be like squishing your arm and like, you know, contorting it to like a perfect position to get an autograph. And if you did, it'd be like just a little like scribble, and you couldn't even make out. Like, someone would ask you 5 minutes later, like, "Oh, who signed that?" And you try to read the name, and you have no idea. You'd be like, "Oh, I don't know. It could have been the towel boy."
Yeah, you'd have to slip a card through a fence or something. So, yo, this kid's not struggling.
No,
like we were. I don't care. Like,
that's a good point.
At all. And but Saquon, I hate that he invited him to a game too. Like,
so terrible. Oh man. So I interned for the Jets, and I used to do like all the inflatables and all that stuff. But you came through to Hofstra one time, and we used to be able to go on the field pregame, and I don't know why I was there or something like that, but I was on the field, and like there's kids hanging over the side with their stuff to get signed, and literally if you're on the field and you have like a Jets shirt on or something, they just want your autograph. Like, anybody on the field, like game day, a kid will just take your autograph. So it's like, yeah, I got no sympathy for that kid.
Nope.
Okay. So, I don't know how far off track we've gotten, but I don't think we've gotten to anything on our list here. I did want to... Okay, so NBA just banned that ninja-style headband. So, like, Jimmy Butler wore it last year, a couple other guys. I don't know why they banned it. I think they're just trying to, like, make a stand, because usually NBA is sort of like the lenient league that lets you get away with the majority of things. I don't know why they banned it. I'm sort of a fan of them banning it, because, like, I don't think it serves a purpose to have that, like, just put a headband on. Like, why do you need the karate style thing that hangs back where someone's finger could get stuck in that? You know, what did you think about that?
I was so confused when I first saw that, like, last year. I was so confused. It's like...
when you saw somebody wearing it, right?
Yeah. I was just like, why? You know what I mean? But, like, everything's like a fashion statement in the NBA, but I think this is the very beginning for the NBA. Like, you're gonna see like JR with the Supreme sleeve and shit. They're not gonna have that, man. Yeah. And you know, someone this year is gonna do a Louis or Gucci something, like probably a sleeve or a headband or something, and they're not gonna have that. Like, and in a way, I don't blame them, because what are they gonna? They're pretty much just gonna start selling certain things. Almost like a NASCAR endorsement, which is like, if that's gonna happen, then so be it. But if not, then you should probably stop it. If that's, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get the whole endorsement thing, and it was interesting because even Lonzo Ball had like the triple B's on his thing, and they made him like cover that up during the game. The karate headband, I'm a little like, I don't really understand that one, because when the whole Hoodie Mellow thing came out, they came out with those hooded jackets, and like all the players would be sitting on the bench with the hoods on, you know, so they sort of embraced that like fashion statement. But the karate headbands, there's probably no market for them to sell things, you know, so they probably didn't see an opportunity to make money off of that, and we're like, nah, we're not going to let that shit slide. We can't make money off selling a headband like that.
No, it's a piece of cloth that just like hangs.
Exactly.
Too. It probably doesn't help that it like hangs down to their neck. You know, I'm not saying like it's a safety concern or anything, but it's shit like that, you know, that's how I noticed it. And I was like, whoa, what is flying from, I think it was Jimmy Butler's head or something.
Yeah. What is that? It's always interesting that like when you play youth sports and you start at super young age, they always make you take all your jewelry off. And, like, you can't wear any of those, like, Livestrong wristbands or whatever. And that's all through, like, high school. They're super strict with that. If you're wearing earrings, you got to put tape over them. College, you can't. But then when you get to the pros, it's like everything's out the window. And like if you're a baseball player, these guys wear like the crazy, like pitchers have their shirts open and they got the craziest chains on. And like Barry Bonds used to wear those cross earrings hanging down. It's almost like when you become a pro, you're allowed now to just like OBJ with the watch, or like these guys with the karate headbands. It's just like, how come at all the other ages leading up to the pros you couldn't do any of this stuff, and now that you're a pro, you're allowed to wear every jewelry on? Like, how do these baseball players play with these crazy fucking necklaces on?
Some of them are heavy as shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's real gold. It's like
copy one was like probably like it looked like it weighed 5 pounds.
I think Severino wears a freaking diesel ass chain. Like, I can't. It's got to be uncomfortable every time he pitches to like for that thing to like whip across his neck like that.
That's what I don't get about that a little bit, other than the fact like they probably wear it 24/7, so they're used to it. But then the whipping, like I know what you mean with that. Like it's just gonna keep hitting them in the face. Kind of annoying. So
yeah. So the NBA banned the karate headbands, so you won't see those anymore. But like, yeah, just wear a headband. It like definitely serves a better purpose than what you're trying to do. Because a lot of those guys who wore those headbands was like Jimmy Butler, or like his hair wasn't moving anyway. I could see if somebody had like braids and it would like help them from stopping the braids in the way or something like that. But I think ultimately it comes down to the NBA probably realized they couldn't make money off of it, so they were like, we're not going to let players just have a fashion field day on us unless we're like, getting some benefit from it.
Yeah, you got to figure like every workplace pretty much essentially has a work uniform, you know, with regulations, and workplaces have different standards where you could either swag it up a little bit, put a little of your own flair into it, or some workplaces not so much. So it's like NBA's got to decide what kind of workplace they're going to be.
Yeah, I mean, we know back in the day that like they sort of let guys do whatever with fashion statement, then they try to enforce like, a dress code, and then it's just gone off the walls. Like now it's just like a NBA fashion week every time it's a primetime game. The cameras, like I would love if like one ABC primetime game they just didn't show like Westbrook walking into the arena. Because like how mad would that guy be if he was wearing some like construction outfit and there was no cameras showing up like when he arrived at the arena?
He's got his hard hat on and no one can see it.
like for real, he wears I mean, he'll say it's fashionable, but like I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that some of that shit is just dumb. Like when you're wearing a straight construction jacket and like some like bell-bottom pants from like 1970 to go with it, with like a ripped shirt, and you've got all the cameras in the world snapping pictures, and it's like, Russell Westbrook arrives for his tip-off against his former team OKC. Like he would get into the locker room if he showed up to the arena and there was nobody there. He'd be like, fuck, man, I look like a complete asshole right now.
I hope that happens, actually. And the best part is it's like a $30,000 outfit.
100%.
Oh, fuck, I just wasted $30,000. No one saw this.
I don't, like, if you're his stylist, and I'm sure he's got a stylist, you could say anything and you won't get fired. Like, you can, like, I put my garbage out of my house. If I see the garbage man and he's wearing some like all green suit and I'm like Russell Westbrook's fashion manager or whatever, I'm like, hey man, you could wear that garbage suit. Why not? And he's like, yo, you're right. I'm gonna pull it off. Like you just have to think outside. It really is the easiest job. Like he's like, yo, he's like at home at 2 a.m. He's like, I want some McDonald's. Like, can we go real quick? He's like, yo, you ever thought about just wearing the McDonald's outfit?
That visor's fire.
And he's like, yo, yeah, I'm going to wear the visor, but I'm going to turn it upside down. Is that cool?
Oh, man, that's brilliant.
Fuck, man. I just gave myself my dream job, is to be Russell Westbrook's fashion advisor.
Yeah, you can do no wrong.
No wrong.
Literally anything goes.
And if you were like, hey, do you want to just wear some jeans and a shirt or something like that? He'd be like, you're fired. Fuck out of here with that shit. Yeah. But to dress codes and all this stuff, it's interesting because the Yankees have always had their crazy standard dress code where it's like guys have to cut their hair. So like when Randy Johnson came to the team, or like the one I remember the most, I think, was Giambi when he was with the A's, and like
Giambi and then Damon.
Damon too, yeah, was a big like switch up. But like Giambi was the first because like he had the flow with the A's, and like his was like pretty grimy. I think he might have had a goatee or something too. Like he sort of just let it go. Then came to the Yankees, and I was like, damn, what's he gonna look like if he cuts his hair? Because they have their policy. But Randy Johnson's another one. He had the crazy long hair and had to cut it when he came to the Yankees. There's a guy on the A's right now, and I don't know if you saw this, but now that you have a beard, and I don't have a beard right now, but I'll have one in a couple days, he straight, like, chopped off half of his beard and made it into, like, this cyclone-looking beard. So I don't know his name, but if you're listening, look up Oakland A's pitcher beard, and you'll see. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's Mike Fiers. Mike Fiers.
What are your thoughts on the beard?
That was stupid as hell.
Really?
Dude, like, come on.
I hate, like, fashion statements and all this stuff, but baseball players are pretty crafty. I looked at that one, and I was like, I'm okay with that. Like, that's pretty funny.
I mean, yeah, it is funny. I did look at him and just laugh. So, like, mission accomplished then?
Yeah.
He looked like a psycho.
He did.
Like he went off the deep end.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, he definitely got that professionally done because the reason, like, why I don't ever have stubble, it's either just a big-ass beard or just, like, no beard or in between the growing back stages is because maintaining a beard is pretty tough.
Yeah.
Because there's different stages to it. So it starts off clean-shaven and, like, as it starts to grow back in, it's not a bad look. So like women, my wife like facial hair. Like it looks good on people. But then there's a certain part once it starts to get a little long where it starts to get itchy, and it's like you either can like overcome the itchy phase and like grow your beard out, or like really give in and you got to just shave it. And there's some guys, I'm not one of them, that know how to trim it and know how to like keep it at a certain length, and like you got to clean up the bottom. There's a whole art to keeping the beard. So like the fact that like his looked that professionally done made me think that somebody else did that for him. Like you can't do that.
Someone else did that. Yo, that's like what I'm trying to teach myself now.
I give you a lot of credit, man. It's hard.
Yo, it's so hard. So all I'm doing is just scissor trimming so it's the right length every couple of days.
Wow.
It's like you got to keep up with it.
You got to keep up with it. And also, though, if you try to push the envelope and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to keep a mustache, it's hard to, like, chop one side and then make the other side exactly even, and then just get rid of the rest. Like, it's not easy to, like, perfectly line up your mustache.
No, not at all. And it's like, when you're trying to trim it and you just put it on the razor to like, all right, I want this at a 2, and you do it, it's like, yo, this just doesn't look right. I thought I did a really good job, and then it's like, there's been a few times where it's like, man, I gotta go clean shaven now, and I really don't want to do that.
Yep.
But I fucked this one up, and so now I'm just like trying to scissor trim it nonstop. So where's like what's your goal for the beard? Are like the beard is staying for a while, and you're just gonna keep maintaining like the scissor cut for a little bit? I think that's it for now. I don't think I'm gonna grow it out crazy yet.
Does your beard get crazy?
What's up?
Does your beard get crazy like if you let it go?
Nothing. I mean, no, nothing too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's easy to maintain for the most part. It's just, it gets uneven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I notice now, like, different parts of my face grow longer than others. So it's like, you do got to maintain it even if you're growing it.
It's hard.
Like, I know this side grows longer than this side for some reason.
Yep.
And it's like, when you see a guy with perfect stubble, it's like, fuck, man. Like, you hit up the hair gods, whatever.
No, you got to question it too. He's a little metro or something if you like perfectly know how to maintain your beard, and it's just something that I've never really put the time in to learn how to like maintain my beard, or like even like Kyle cuts his own hair. Like I wish.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, like, but in reality, I'm at a point now where I used to go to the barber and do all the whole spiel, and like he had to be either black or Dominican, and I had to make sure that like he passed a certain test in my eyes to like cut my hair. But I'm at a point now where it's like I go to Sports Clips, woman cuts my hair, don't even care if she had like 3 fingers, as long as my hair's looking shorter when I leave the shop, I'm fine with that. Whereas if I just learned, it's my sideburns that get the worst, they get the bushiest. So if I could just figure out how to cut right there, I'd be totally fine. But I just don't put the time in to learn how to either trim my beard or cut my hair.
Well, yo, it's tough. Like, yeah, you could teach yourself, but again, like, in front of a mirror like that, like, I don't know, it just always seems like that you're going to be missing an angle.
100%. 100%.
Like, even when I go to the barber now, my last time there was yesterday, and it was, dude, my guy was out, and I was like, yeah, I'll go sit with you. And I just went to some other dude and was like, you know, pretty explicit and like, do this, don't do that, you know what I mean? And I sweat a little bit, like the first couple of minutes. I'm like, don't Zeke me. Like,
I don't even care. I don't even care. Like, I don't.
That's insane.
Yeah.
No, because it's like,
even if my here's the thing.
You to do this.
I guess so.
Like,
but even I'm at the point now where even if they Zeke my shit, like I'll leave and I'll pay them exactly what they want. I'll still leave a $5 tip and I'll just go home and I'll just take the L for the day, because it's like sometimes they've got good women, sometimes they don't. But like I said, as long as my hair is shorter,
continues to happen.
yeah, that's why it continues to happen. But the reason I brought up that guy's beard is because I related to him, because I've had those times where I've had a diesel beard, and it's almost like you've put in so much time with this beard that when you go to shave it, you always fuck around and you'll leave a mustache, or like you'll like chop half of it off and like save half here. So like he definitely did that, or like it built up to that where for months he would do it, and then one time he was like, nah, I just shaved off this side, I'm gonna just leave it. Like, why not?
That's what I think he did. I think he shaved off half and then was like, called in the barber and was like, yo, can you do something with this?
Yeah.
And they were like, I got you.
Yeah, don't let Russell Westbrook grow a beard, because that guy will have like a patch on this side and then just like nothing else, and just be like, yeah, no, it's the new trend.
It's brilliant.
Okay, what else we got? So we got the guy with the beard. So this one was interesting. So I guess the Miami Heat arena is like up for name grabs. So Bang Bro, the porn site, I guess put in like a $10 million bid for the arena. I don't know where it stands, if they'll get it, if it was actually a real article or not, if 10 million is even like gonna come close to what someone could pay for that. So maybe they just put in like some fake offer just to like create a couple headlines. But if they won that bid, that'd be a hell of an arena name to have.
Yo, I hope it's true. I hope it actually happens. I don't see why 10 million can't do it. Like if Smoothie King get an arena named after them, Bang Bros, you got this. Like, I'm behind you on this.
And that's why I wanted to ask you, like, there's some funky arenas and stadium names out there. So like Denver is pretty interesting because Sports Authority had the naming rights for their field for so many years, and even like when they went bankrupt like 2 years ago, they still had the rights to the I think it was Sports Authority field. I think it was what it was, and they still had it for like 2 years after they were even bankrupt. So like they were still like, it was still Sports Authority field, which was like they didn't gain anything from it because they're out of business. And then just recently, a couple years ago maybe, the White Sox, they changed their stadium to Guaranteed Rates Field, which is just like, it just makes you think that they're such a sellout that like they gave the stadium, like their stadium name, to the highest bidder practically. Yeah, because it's just such a terrible name.
Yeah, it's corporate, man. That's how that goes. The most interesting, I think, is like, have you ever been to Phoenix to see the Suns?
No, I've never. No. I've only had a stopover in Arizona. I've never been there.
So it's crazy. You'll have to let me know because you get to these stadiums, but it's called Talking Stick Resort Arena. So like, is it I think it's a casino.
I think it is.
Do the players go through a casino to walk into the stadium? You know, like,
yeah. I think. So I think from what it is, I think it's like a whole downtowny area, and I think across the street is like a hotel resort casino thing, and then across the street is like the stadium. So it could be like a complex. Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And like anytime I hear these players like demand a trade out of Phoenix or like, you know, demand a trade off of like Miami, it's just like,
I don't get that.
Are you an idiot? Like, people go to Phoenix, people go to Miami to retire and like hang it up. Like, who cares if your team is bad? Like,
Phoenix would be fucking amazing.
It would be amazing. And it's like Talking Sticks Resort Casino. It just sounds amazing. Like,
yeah.
And if they have all this money to like be the leading sponsor on an arena, you know it's going to be like, you know, an amazing looking facility.
And it's chill there, and it's like, I mean, no one's really complaining about playing for the Suns now too, because they got some exciting guys on the team. Like, yo,
I think their ownership is really bad, is what always sets them back, and that's what people are, you know, they get upset at the Suns for that.
Okay, because like they draft well and stuff, but they never add anyone.
Really, yep. So. You had mentioned before, but the biggest question mark I have is like, where the fuck did Smoothie King come up with all that money to like get an arena? Like,
I know, I like it though. I like when they announce it. I don't know why. It's
just so random. It's like I've been to New Orleans and I went to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, which is sort of gangster. Like, you know, it's got a nice ring to it. Mercedes-Benz Superdome, classy place. But then literally right across the street, like you could throw a rock and there's just a big thing and it just says Smoothie King Center, and it's just like, it just looks so like Smoothie King? Like, well, what if I don't even like smoothies?
Yeah, I didn't realize they were across the street from each other.
Right across the street.
And it's like the Superdome looks awesome.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
That's tough when, like, if you're rolling in for the Pelicans game, and if you're a Pelicans player and you're looking across the street, like, motherfucker.
It doesn't even sound like a real, like, it sounds like a childish gym. Like, you know, Smoothie King Center. We're gonna have our birthday party at Smoothie King Center. You know, like Citi Field. Yes, it's Citibank, but like it works because it's like city. You know, you're in the city.
Yeah.
But like, I think OKC plays in like Chesapeake Bay Arena or something like that. Just like, I don't know. It makes me even think like when you're a player on that team, like if you're a player on the Pelicans, how do you have pride in being like, yeah, I'm a Pelican? Like, go Pelicans.
I mean, you don't. I mean, because Anthony Davis was like, get me out of here.
I know.
Zion, it'll be interesting to see with that, but it's like, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, you roll into the players' lot and you look across and you see the Superdome.
Yeah.
And you're like, I gotta play in this fucking stadium right here? Like, what's up with that?
Does anybody else have any funky ones? Like the Dolphins, I weirdly know a lot of stadium names.
Hard Rock is Dolphins?
Hard Rock is Dolphins.
That's sick.
That's awesome. Yeah. Like, they probably could put up some awesome, like, guitars and, like, just, like, costumes all around the stadium.
That'll be one of those where it's, like, Hard Rock, the cafe, that'll fucking go out of business, I'm sure.
Definitely.
But they'll still have that stadium.
Yeah, that's another one. So, like, somebody just got the Broncos Stadium. I don't know who the new sponsor, Empower Field or something like that, which sort of works because, you know. But Guaranteed Rates was one that would sort of like, you know, I was like, that's a little weird. And I'm surprised the Yankees have never sold out theirs, because you could probably get a boatload of money for Yankee Stadium.
I think they would catch the most flack by far if they did it. I don't think they ever do it. And they're corporate enough with their tickets, with their seats, with their group pricing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, when you go into a Yankees game, you know this, like, you see a lot of suits.
Yeah.
Especially like a Monday through Friday night game, like you see a lot of suits, not even watching the game really.
But that's why I'm surprised they can't find some Wall Streety type like suit thing that like it's still Yankee Stadium, but it's like Yankee Stadium by, you know, whatever, Men's Warehouse or something like that. Like there's like the fact that they took no money for that is strange, because it's like they're leaving easy money on the table.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with them doing that, though, because they would have to play it perfectly in order for fans not to get heated. Like,
100%.
Stadium, you kind of got to leave it like that.
Yeah, or Madison Square Garden doesn't, there's no...
Right, like, imagine if it was Madison Square Garden, presented to you by
flowers.com, 1-800-Flowers.
1-800-Flowers. Like, come on.
1-800-Flowers Arena, because, like, the Madison Square Gardens. That actually, hey. We might be onto something. But yeah, no, there's, you could tell which teams sell out pretty easily. Like, when it's a worse team. Like, I'd be curious. I think the Diamondbacks, they're pretty good right now, but I think they play in, like, Chase Field or something like that, if I remember correctly.
That's sick. Like, and the Reds got Great American Ballpark. That's cool.
That works.
I mean? That sounds good. It sounds good. It's just gotta sound good.
Yeah.
Even the White Sox old one was U.S. Cellular Field.
Yes.
That was sick. Yeah.
I guess after a while, still, it starts to sound a little bit more normal. Like, even Guaranteed Rates Field right now, sort of like, it sounds a lot better than when I first heard Guaranteed Rates Field.
Yeah, they'll get there.
Like StubHub Park, I think, like, that's where I think the Chargers playing. Like, it sounds weird, but, like, you could talk yourself into some of those. Yeah. What would be Bang Bros? Don't name it Bang Bros, because I just, that one wouldn't stick for a while.
BBC Arena.
BBC. What else we got? We could roll through some of these. USA, 7th place in the FIBA games is very, very embarrassing. And I wrote down that Pop wanted no blame for that. He was basically getting mad at the critics, saying that, like, that the team was no good. Which, just, like, my thoughts are, you brought a shitty team. You had the chance to bring Carmelo Anthony and recruit other guys. And Jerry Colangelo and Pop, they're stubborn. And they don't ever want to take any of the blame for this stuff. But 7th place is not acceptable for our basketball program.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do understand what Pop's saying. Like, he did have a chance to bring in some guys. They went, it almost like a rebuild mode a little bit. Didn't help that they got so many dudes injured and they played with 9 guys. So I give them a little bit benefit of the doubt. Like, they tried something new, it failed.
But they don't ever take responsibility is my biggest thing. It's just like,
I know, you got to call it a little bit of a. Yeah, I'm not saying call it a failure, but if he could have just said, like, we're a little disappointed, right?
Yes, yeah, like, don't get like.
That's it.
There's a time and a place, obviously, to get mad at critics and the media for saying things. And this brings me into my next point is totally different. But OBJ came out, and we spoke about this beforehand, and he had said that some Browns players, because they're playing the Jets on Monday Night Football, that Greg Williams, who was the intern coach for the Browns, was still basically saying, get him hurt, and, let's take him off the field and hope he doesn't finish the game. And then Greg Williams, they interviewed him. Media asked him, they had the right to ask him. They said, what'd you think about OBJ's comments? He tried to be corny and said, OBJ who? But then came out and basically said, I'd never have wanted to injured guys and do all this stuff. And it's just like, when you lie and you don't take accountability and you don't take responsibility, like Pop and Colangelo are doing with 7th place, it just makes you look worse,
Yeah, and like with the USA basketball, I think he was just like heated in that moment too, and was just like, "Listen, you're immature about
I can see that
criticizing these kids. These are young men." He went that route a little bit, which the thing about him is like he has the best interest, those players' best interests at heart.
Yeah,
so you know what I mean, like. With something like Greg Williams with OBJ, it's like I don't take either side, because I love how OBJ just said it as if he was dropping a bomb. Like, yo, you know about the bounty Saints from years ago. He was like, I talk to players on that other side.
Yeah. It's like, tell us something that we don't already know, bro. We know he wants the guys to leave in it.
Because I knew that too.
Yeah.
It's like,
but how did it make you feel when Greg Williams is standing up there saying that he's never tried to do that? I was almost just like, come on, dude. Like, you got suspended a whole year for doing that.
Yeah. Which is like, I know. Like, just say nothing.
Yeah.
Just say nothing.
Or just be like, yeah, I paid my time for that. I wanted guys to get hurt in the past. Like, I've changed or whatever. Like, I would have respected the shit out of this dude if he was just like, I sat out a whole year for that. Like, you think I was doing that when I came back my next year in the Browns? OBJ's a bozo. Like, I'll be like, damn, maybe OBJ was just lying about that.
Yeah, he could have said that because it's like an easy thing to pick off of.
100%.
Like, for OBJ, like, oh yeah, that's the guy that did this. I was hurt playing against them. Let's put it together.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
Like, I don't. It holds no weight for me.
Yeah,
what he said.
And it doesn't make it any easier that you said even he put out a billboard in Times Square.
Yeah, so he's got a billboard out in Times Square right now because they are playing the Jets Monday night, and he it's a picture of his face in Times Square. It says "New team, who dis?"
Come on, man.
Dude, whoever, you know what it is too. It's almost a little sad where. You know he likes that attention.
He needs it. He needs it.
People are taking advantage of him. You know what I mean? Like marketing teams, branding teams. You know they put that idea in his head, and his eyes lit up.
100%. 100%.
It's like you're kind of like you better perform, or else he's gonna get torn down.
But here's my thing. If he's not doing all this extra shit, he knows by him wearing that crazy expensive watch. He's going to get some media attention about it. People are going to talk about it. Him putting that billboard out, or his team, he knows people are going to talk about it. But if he's not doing that stuff, nobody's talking about him in Cleveland. And even with those stories, I hadn't heard about that billboard story. I heard about the watch, but it was for like a couple days they spoke about it. But like, nobody, when people say that you could play on any market's team and like still have all this buzz around you, it's not true, man. Like, if he was doing that shit in New York, and now put New York like 0-2 on the table, and like he's doing the watch and the billboards, that stuff is all over national news. That's like leading ESPN. The Browns watch thing, they probably didn't even talk about that on ESPN that much. They might have showed it pregame, but the billboard thing, I didn't hear about it. He needs that attention, and I'm telling you, if they lose to the Jets and then like this season's like ugly, he's going to demand a trade because he doesn't want to be in Cleveland because there's no coverage of him. There's probably two guys in the locker room asking him questions, whereas in New York, he'd have a full locker room, he'd have the buzz, he'd have the cameras, the flashiness, but he doesn't get that shit in Cleveland.
Yo, you're right about that. Like, there's a huge difference, and it's like, would he even wear the watch with the Giants? Would he even do this billboard? I don't think so, because
he wouldn't have to
sit there and listen to 75 questions about a watch as opposed to 15.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, all right, this is the news for me today. This is all I can get right now. I'll take it. When you gotta answer hundreds of reporters circling you about a watch in New York, you're fucking taking that thing off, man.
100%.
He knows he could just make a crazy ass catch, and New York will be screaming
that, or like he gets seen on a street with a supermodel leaving a club or something like that.
Yeah.
There's no paparazzi in Cleveland taking a picture of you leaving the like a poppin' bar, which anybody could probably get into in Cleveland. Like New York City, we can't get into those bars. That's what I'm saying. Like, an ordinary day in New York in these big market cities is way different than Cleveland. I'm telling you, he's going to request a trade out of there because it's just like, even if he wins a Super Bowl there, like, is that cool? Not for him. Like, he wants to win the city in like a big city where it's cool.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And it's like, it's so weird with him. It really is. It's just, he's a weird dude to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Cleveland will be a long-term solution for
hell
him.
Hell no.
But he doesn't realize, like, he had the Giants fans behind him during the trade. When he got traded, Giants fans were like, what the hell? Like, why are we trading OBJ? We love you, Odell. Now with this, like, billboard and the stuff he said about the team, you're getting booed when you go there.
100%.
This year or whenever, I don't know, but it's like, you had the Giants fans still in the palm of your hand. You could have just like said thank you to the fans and not just trash the organization over and over.
Yep.
You'd be good.
Yep. Sticking on football for a second, and if it's reversed, if Sam Darnold's the quarterback of the Browns and he gets mono, it's not even really a story. He's out for a little bit. But but you get Mono as the Jets starting quarterback, and it's like like couple that with you got a Monday Night Football game that you're missing, and now like the tabloids are going crazy, and it's just like you only get, it's called the kissing disease. So Darnold was going around doing some shit, which, I mean, I don't blame the guy. Hopefully he's single and like, you know, he's got the right to do all that stuff, but like, can't you be hooking up with girls like in the off season? Like, you got to do it the week before Monday Night Football?
Making out with chicks, man. That's what he does. But can't you get it from like drinking someone's Gatorade too? Or any drink. I don't know.
I don't think Darnold's sharing Gatorade with guys. With all the Gatorades they have in facilities, that guy can take a sip.
Ran out.
That guy can take a sip from a Gatorade, and there'll be 400 other Gatorades. When I interned with the Jets, and we used to be on the field sometimes, there was Gatorades. It's like you turn left, you turn right, you put your hand down anywhere in the bathroom toilet. There's a Gatorade. There's Gatorades everywhere. That guy, the last thing he's doing is sharing a drink with somebody inside of those facilities, all right? Don't make excuses because we're Jets fans. That guy probably hooked up with 40 girls in one night, left the bar, woke up the next morning and was like, oh, man, my throat hurts. It's just like... And then I doubt someone on the team was like, oh, you remember you shared that Cool Boo Gatorade with me yesterday? That's probably from that.
Dude, maybe he drank the wrong one. Maybe, like, his initials weren't on his, and he took the wrong one. Never know. All
right, let's hope that. But I didn't know it puts you out for, like, a month, man. And we got Trevor Siemian now. Like, the guy couldn't make it in Denver. He's going to go and win a Monday Night Football game for us?
Yeah, our chances are looking bad. I mean, that's the Browns game to win. What are we going to do with that game on Monday?
It is. And we played them last year. It was either a Thursday night game or it was like a primetime game. And it was it was early on in the season. I think it was the Browns beat us, and that was the game that unlocked the freezer for them.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like we had all the buzz going into the game. But so now I'm hoping, since, you know, we're sort of the underdog, I guess, coming into the game, and all the pressure hopefully should be on Cleveland. You know, they got to win. They got all the star guys. Maybe Siemian goes in there and steals a victory, or at least competes, and then our kicker can at least go out there and miss the game-winning field goal.
That city, well, I mean, may burn down if they lose. Cleveland, talking about Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bad loss if you lose to us now.
Yeah, that would be a very bad loss. And, like, I don't see that game going, like, lopsided either way. You know, I don't see the Browns being a type of team to pour it on. Yeah.
Because they could keep it close. It's not like the Browns' offense had looked great in week 1. So if they play good defense, you feed Le'Veon Bell. He's questionable. Hopefully he plays. But you feed Le'Veon Bell and our other running backs, because we got other guys, too, that are good. 40-plus carries, man, between the running backs.
But, yeah, hopefully, I mean, I don't know if Gase is that type of guy where he would just feed him the ball like that. He'd still probably just want to air it out with this guy. But that brings me to my next point, and we've been following this story for a couple weeks now. But are the Jets on Kaepernick watch?
No.
The Jets aren't, but there's another team that just today, Breeze got injured. And I don't think I would cross the Jets off because their owner is Woody Johnson. He's like pretty conservative. I think he's like a Trump supporter, so like Kaepernick scratched that one off. But the Saints, Drew Brees got injured, and Teddy Bridgewater is not known to be a healthy cat. Do the Saints sign Colin Kaepernick? And I don't even know who their owner is. I think their owner died. They might not even have an owner.
It's just the fans, like Green Bay.
It's just the fans, yeah.
Yo, I'm a Saints fan. I own the team.
Yeah, pretty much. I think 100%. Sean Payton just gets executive decisions for everything. Like, he writes his own contracts. He makes every call for the Saints.
Well, he just got signed to a 5-year extension today, so that may be true.
Yeah, he negotiated and agreed upon it with himself.
Wow. That happened right after the game, so he moved quick.
That guy, no pun intended, is a saint in New Orleans. Like, that guy can do no wrong. He's just chilling. Him and Breeze are just golden. Like, they're fine there forever.
But Breeze, I don't know what the deal is with his hand. I mean, he tried to pick up a football and couldn't even grip it. Like, it didn't even get up off the ground. So, I don't know what the deal is long term, but if he's out for a while, I could see maybe taking a shot at Kaepernick.
I semi agree with you. I mean, like, I could see, because, like, Louisiana is pretty progressive. Like, their fans aren't going to be in uproar if they sign him, you know? Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, like, poverty there. Like, people are just hard-nosed. Like, I think there's probably a lot of Colin Kaepernick fans there, and if you're not, you're sort of like an outcast. So I'd be curious. Let's look up. We looked up the Jags owner last week, and we were totally wrong about that. They freaking, I guess, didn't even look at him, even with this quarterback that they have now, who everyone is like going crazy about, but the guy's 0-2.
Yeah.
Because he's got like a mustache, and he's, you know, supposedly very confident. All right, so yeah, Gail Benson. She's the wife of Tom Benson, who died. Dude, this one might line up. This one might be it.
It could.
So, let's look her up. She's an American billionaire, businesswoman, philanthropist, and sports franchise owner. Oh yeah, following the death of her husband, Tom Benson, she became principal owner of the New Orleans Saints. And she owns the Pelicans, and she's the first woman majority shareholder of voting stock in NFL and NBA franchise. Professional background, she stole her husband's money. Dixie Brewing Company, maybe Dixie Cups? Philanthropy, so she gives a lot of money back. This is the team. This is it. If it's not here, then there's absolutely nothing left.
I agree with that. I
mean, like, if
it also depends if Breeze is available next week, then it's all to shit.
I guess, yeah. If Breeze's injury is not that bad and he plays next week, then it's all a wash.
Yeah.
But that's got to be the team there, and if it doesn't happen there, sayonara, you're donezo.
Yeah.
What else we got? Couple more things. Nets giving away 10,000 Kyrie jerseys, so they're pretty desperate there against the Knicks.
Yeah, it's against the Knicks too. I'm sure they lined that up on purpose, but I like that.
You like that they're giving away 10,000 jerseys? I mean, that's sort of like, that's like a sellout move, man. Like, let people buy the damn jersey.
No, I think it's smart because it's probably those shitty jerseys.
They're going to be terrible.
Real good ones.
Yeah,
so if you're a real fan, you're gonna want the real one, and then you get all these hipsters, the shitty one that they could wear around Williamsburg. You know?
Yeah, we already know that they're fake fans, so it'll just prove our point even more. Like, if you're a Knicks fan and you see somebody wearing that Kyrie like bootleg jersey, it just sort of points them out even more than as maybe before if they were wearing like who knows, you know, like a Paul Pierce Nets jersey. You'd be like, oh, maybe he's a fan. But now if you're wearing the fake Kyrie jersey, I know you're not a Nets fan.
Right.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I can get behind that too.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. I like them doing it with the Knicks in town, though. Like,
that's bold.
Your boy.
Yeah, that's bold.
Some kind of rivalry.
Yeah,
even if
I know.
They suck, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. AB scored his first touchdown. I mean, outside of all this stuff going on with him, the fact that like he could still put it all behind him and like, you know, be a beast at football is impressive. I think he had like 4 catches, had a nice like, you know, I mean, Brady made an amazing throw, back shoulder, but like, it's tough, man. When you have a lot on your mind and like you're just caught up with, you know, all these different things, which I get stressed about, like, you know, my daughter in like a gymnastics class or something. I can't imagine like allegations and like worrying about money down the line and still having to go out there and like run your route and catch a touchdown. It's impressive what he does on the football field.
Yeah, they caught him up quick, but I didn't expect anything else. Like,
yeah, but
they
like
probably give him the same playbook that they give guys that they bring in like that, and it's like, follow these plays. You're gonna get the ball right at your face as soon as you turn around. Just do what you do. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, they're known to steal other people's playbooks, so they probably know the Steelers like whole, you know, playbook, and probably said, here's what we watched you do week 16. Just, you know, Brady will throw it right there, just catch it.
Exactly.
Last thing, I had Tyson Fury beat some guy. I don't know who he was, but he says he's in a great place, so that lines up for a rematch with that guy Deontay Wilder. I'm pretty excited for that one. I think heavyweights, you sort of can't really doctor the fights too much, even though boxing sometimes gets a bad rap and sort of rigged. And it was an awesome first match. The second one, you're going to get, just another raw fight. So I'm excited. Hopefully that one goes through.
That'll be exciting. Hopefully Joshua gets in the mix too. Maybe if he beats Ruiz, I don't know what.
That's what I'm saying. He'd have to fight that guy first again, right?
There's more excitement within the top 5 fighters of boxing in the heavyweight division than there's been in a long time.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Okay, cool. You got anything else?
No, I think we covered everything.
So recap: fuck Cal Ripken. USA team sucks. Shave your beard. We spoke about a lot today.
We did. It's like a lifestyle.
Yeah. This
lifestyle podcast.
This is a lifestyle podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. See what your garbage man is wearing and get ahead of Russell Westbrook. And if you wear it, you're the trendsetter.
Yeah, we did fashion.
Oh, I forgot we even spoke about that. The guy at the Lakers game. That guy's probably with some hot girl right now. Damn, good for him.
I'm gonna look at his Instagram as soon as we're done with this.
You gotta send it to me. All right, Sports Buffet.
Fascinate me.
Number 7. Oh, we didn't answer any of the questions. We'll do that next week. I think there was like a who will win the Super Bowl, and someone asked about the Sixers. We'll tell you next week. So we'll a little cliffhanger for you to follow into Sports Buffet 8. Other than that, actually, I might be away next weekend, so we might be off next week unless we could find a day to do it.
All right. Well, yeah, because Sunday, I would be back in time, but I'd be getting back like right around now for Nashville.
Okay.
Going to Nashville.
Oh man! All right, so we want to hear some of those stories. So yeah, okay. So maybe we'll be off next week and we'll pick back up the following week. So let the questions pile up because you guys have just been asking away. It's been crazy. So keep.
No, slow down.
I don't know if we can get to all the questions, so we're gonna take a week off and then we'll answer them all in 2 weeks. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out. Thanks, Matt.